Hi, Coach Brown. Welcome to Tucson. You know, the Arizona football program, the golden era under Dick Tomey was known for its defense. How can you help with kind of restoring that identity and getting Arizona back to playing good defense again?
Well, you know, Coach Fish and I share similar philosophy on how the game should be played. I mean, obviously that's why I'm here. Um, he believes in running the football, complementary throw game, but being aggressive and playing through your defense. And the whole thing is, different stops I've made over my career. The important thing is to stay true to yourself and stay true to your beliefs about this game. And that's what I'm going to do. And the important piece is to make sure that you convey the message to the players understand the message, and then you've just got to do a great job of coaching technique and fundamentals and getting your guys all on the same page, functioning as a unit. That's the challenge. And probably that's the thing that drives me and keeps me in college football and keeps me going is the challenge to get these guys playing as one.
And you spent a lot of time along the East Coast and the Midwest. What made you want to come out to the West Coast and coach in the Pac-12?
Just listening to Coach Fish's message, the being resilient, having purpose. The way I knew this was going to get run. I know that gives us a chance. Yeah, your organization gives you a chance to be successful, and and I believe in Jed. So it's pretty easy. It was a pretty easy decision. I know I'm working with a tremendous football coach, tremendous leader, and that allows me to just do my job.
Next question, Patrick Carr, Daily Wildcat.
Hey, Coach. Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
So Big Ten and Pac-12 are obviously pretty different conferences. So I was just wondering, what adjustments do you think you'll have to make game planning, also recruiting-wise, coming from the Big Ten to the Pac-12 out on the West Coast?
Just looking at some of the film and seeing the what the thought process is with the coordinators, a little bit more open sets, a little bit less in the ground and pound type run game, with multiple tight ends. You see a lot more 11 personnel, which 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. I do see some 12 in short yardage, meaning 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. But the bottom line is I think they whip it around a little bit more out in the Pac-12. So, that's somewhat of an adjustment, but in realities, the spread offense is in vogue, and it's in vogue across the country. And each coach is trying to play to his players' strengths. And, just in watching it, I see a lot of throw game that we're going to have to be multiple in our coverages, multiple in our fronts and pressures. And, it's certainly going to be a challenge for our guys for sure.
Next question, Rich Herrera, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Good morning, Coach. Thanks for joining us today. Can you talk about the strength of your staff that you're going to be working with from Ricky Hunley and Chuck Cecil and the rest?
Yeah, it's been fun getting to know the guys. The one good thing, when you go to work every day, it's nice to put a smile on your face and go in and work with a bunch of guys that you share, similar values, similar thought process and philosophy. Starting with Ricky, we talk the same terms. We play the game the same way. It all starts with stopping the run and then adjusting from there. But, he's a pro's pro. He'll get the guys to play hard and play tough. And, so that's that's a pretty good start with your defensive line. And then obviously pass rush and all those things. His unique experience will certainly be a positive for us.
I was looking on the weather today, and it's 90% chance of snow tomorrow in Ann Arbor, compared to the weather that we have here in Tucson. What have you got a chance to see of the community of Tucson? I know that's important for the athletic department to have the coaches out and about and be members of our community.
Well, I haven't had a chance to see too much yet. I'm trying to, we're working hard on wrapping up recruiting and getting everybody on the same page defensively. And so, I haven't seen too much, but I'll tell you this, the temperature's nice. I love looking out my window and seeing that mountain range, and just seems like in just my short jaunt back from hotel to office, it's a beautiful area. So really excited to be part of the Tucson area for sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Next question, Jacob Minuti, Daily Wildcat.
Yeah, can you talk to me a little bit about kind of that Viper position that you like to use in your defensive team, kind of that linebacker safety hybrid role? I mean, how important is that to your defensive scheme, and do you plan on bringing that into Tucson?
Yeah, it's part of what we do, and again, kind of, Jacob, been looking at it. When you have the tight end involved in the throw game, obviously you're looking to make sure that you have a solid matchup, both run and pass. Then obviously you can take a linebacker hybrid safety guy, and I've had a bunch of different ones that have played that position. I go all the way back, I don't want to, do a history lesson, but back at Boston College, I had this young man by the name of Matt Milano, who's now an all-pro linebacker for the Buffalo Bills. And he kind of plays the similar position. They play him a little bit more inside now. But the position, you have to be a linebacker and get in the box and play a little bit there, depending on formations. You have to be able to cover the tight end. And it's nice when you have blitzing ability. So I had Matt, I had Kevin Pierre-Louis, who I believe now is with Kansas City. And obviously Jabril Peppers, who's with the Giants. Now, Jabril made that position a little bit more explosive because he just didn't cover tight ends. He covered tight ends. I asked him to cover slots. He was a tremendous exterior pressure guy, which is part of the job description, but he could also be an interior pressure guy. And he always reminded me of when we beat Michigan State in that first year in 2016, that he made 2 goal line stops in the box. So, it's a fun position to play because there's a lot of jobs, and you can kind of change those jobs based on game plan, based on, what you're seeing from an offensive perspective on a week-to-week basis. But you got to have, you still got to have the ability to be a linebacker, be an edge rush guy, some internal pressure, and obviously you've got to have coverage ability as well. We had Khaleke Hudson the last 3 years that did it. And obviously he's playing for the Washington football team and doing pretty much the same type of stuff.
And then I don't know if you've gotten a chance to kind of look at the defensive roster, but I mean, is there anyone on the team right now that kind of fits that role? And if not, have you been targeting that on the recruiting trail so far?
Well, we've certainly targeted it. I'll refer to the recruiting to Coach Fish. And, obviously we've got a young man we think could do it. But in looking at our own players, there's a couple guys I have in mind, but I want to watch them run around and go through some workouts here in the next couple of weeks before I just start, giving you misinformation. But there's certainly some body types and some athletes that I've got my eye on that I'm anxious to see work out and see how they go about doing their business.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question, Jay Gonzalez, Fox Sports 1450.
Coach, welcome. We sit here and we see things, when you guys get hired, we heard you being known as Dr. Blitz. Is that a name that you like? And how legit is that in terms of what you do?
Well, over the years, I've probably been 58 to 62% pressure on a year-to-year basis. Now, each year that changes, and you have to change with the times and have the ability to simulate pressure. And I think that's really, some people determine, 5-man rush is pressure, 6-man rush is pressure. But when you bring 4, but you bring overloads and do things like that, to the quarterback, it can feel like pressure. And I think people group that in like we're blitzing. But in essence, when you count the raw numbers, it's really not. But if the shoe fits, wear it. So we'll wear it. And, I don't know if it gives us an edge. All I know is this. I want my guys to play on the balls of the feet, not play catcher and be on their heels. And we're going to solve our problems with aggression on the field. And, some quarterbacks are different than others. Some offenses are different than others. But we certainly don't want to be static in our approach and let people get into a comfort zone and play one or two things because they've limited you down, by playing one or two different looks. We're not going to do that. And we're going to be aggressive in our approach. But I'm going to tell you, the most important thing to playing great defensive football is A, they run to the ball. And when they get there, they tackle people. And B, they do it as a group. We will do that. The rest of it is all window dressing. Because if you don't get that solved, then you don't have a chance to be a great defensive football team. I mean, and, obviously, I got to calm down here for a minute, but, that'll be the message. Doesn't matter what you play if you don't have a number of guys at the ball on a down-to-down basis. And, that message will be loud and clear. And, the nice thing is we're multiple. Some people say, Coach, are you a 4-man front, 3-man front? We're all of it. And, we have a simple way to install it with the guys so they can understand. But the impression that the presentation that the offense gets will be multiple. So, that's our approach, and kind of excited to install it again, So it's time to get it rolling and get it rolling and get excited about it. And I think our kids will play along with it and get excited about it as well.
Thank you.
Next question, Troy Hutchison, All
Boy,
Sports.
I got excited there for a minute. I was ready to come up out of the chair.
So, Coach, throughout your coaching career, you've been at programs like UConn, Boston College, Michigan, and you've taken defensive teams from the 90s, 80s, and 50s and gotten top 10 defenses out of them. How do you change the defensive mindset you walk into? How do you change the culture on that side of the ball?
Well, first off, each year is a new challenge. Each year is a challenge. And, I'm not perfect either. I understand, the one thing that I do is I don't look back. I look ahead. I don't live in the past. I live in the present. And, the first thing, that my guys will understand when they're with me is you're all my players now. Now, if you choose not to be, that's up to you. But the reality is I'm coaching everybody and everybody gets a chance. Now, here's the beauty. When you talk about a clean slate, you got Ricky Hunley, you got Chuck Cecil, you got Dwayne Walker, Keith Dudzinski will join us, at some point today, and myself. That's a whole new virtually defensive staff. So they're going to have the opportunity to make their niche. I also believe this. I don't worry about what a guy can't do. So, for example, what can a guy do? So, for example, I look at it in this respect. The guy may not be a good cover guy in terms of understanding zone concepts or being a man defender, but he can rush the passer. Well, I'm a big believer. Then let the guy rush the passer. Put him in and let him rush the passer. He can play a lot of downs for you and he can help you. We had a young man, Josh Uche, who ended up, he was the 950th rated high school player coming up when he came to Michigan, and he ended up being a 3rd round pick. Well, that's somewhere around 60. So he goes from 900 plus to 60. Well, his confidence level changed. His approach to the game changed. And, he wanted to be a tremendous pass rusher. And guess what we let him do? Put him in the game. Every opportunity that we thought they were throwing the ball, we made sure he was part of that process. And, that's kind of what I'm alluding to. Let guys do what they're good at. And, that's the approach we're going to take.
Next question, Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering, how do you address what's gone on defensively in the past few years? Do you ignore it? Do you start clean completely? Do you talk about it? How do you kind of deal with that?
That's a great question. I don't think you ignore anything, but it's how you go about presenting it. These are the reasons you lose. Well, I don't like to utilize that word in my vocabulary. These are the things we did well. These are the things that we have to get better. So you have a group of goods and a group of get betters. And that's the approach. There's a way to go about it so that you don't, here we go again, I messed up. That's not the attitude we're looking for. We're looking, like I said, live in the present, new tact, attention to detail, technique, fundamental, tackling. And you're going, geez, Coach, come on, let's stop talking about tackling. Go back and watch tape. Put the tape on, watch the game, watch the guys tackling and how many missed tackles. From 16 to 19 at Michigan, we were the top tackling unit over a 4-year period of time. In 20, we're not. Did it have an impact in the win-loss column? Well, a lot of things do, but that's one of them. And I think you do that. You take care of your techniques, your fundamentals, you present, your presentation of your concepts, and you coach the positive, not the negative, and good things will happen.
We have time for one more question for Coach Brown. We'll go to Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ.
Hey, Coach, I know you've had limited interaction and probably only really seen what they can do through tape, but I wanted to see if you had any first impressions of the Harris brothers and Jalen, who's played a lot the past couple of years, and then Jason, who just signed on as a transfer.
Yeah, I'm going to leave Jason alone, okay? I'll leave that to Coach Fish. All right, the older Harris, he played in the 3-4 system and basically played as an up player, a two-legged player, like an outside linebacker. I can promise you this: he will have his hand in the ground, rushing the passer, and I don't think you'll see him dropping very much at all. He's a guy I think, will be a key guy in helping our transition from 3 down to 4 down. as other guys will, of course, as well. But, you asked me specifically about him, that's my feeling. I see some good things in his future. I think we can get him excited. We got to get him, get his repertoire of pass rush moves ready to go, but the guy can run and hit people. So, that's a good, I like the guys that like the smash guys. So, that's what we're looking for.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Coach.